Hello students. Welcome to the amazing world of life processes that make all living organisms survive and thrive. Have you ever wondered how our body gets the energy it needs, how nutrients are transported, or how waste is managed? Well, today we are going to uncover these secrets of life. Let's look at how nutrition, respiration, transportation, and excretion work together, just like a well-engineered system that keeps us alive. Let us understand these life processes and start with nutrition. Nutrition is the process by which living organisms, including humans, obtain and utilize food to maintain their health, growth, and energy. On the left, we see autotrophic nutrition, which is all about organisms that make their own food. These are the manufacturers in the world of life processes. Green plants and cyanobacteria are prime examples of autotrophs. They synthesize their own food using simple inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water. How? Through a magical process called photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, plants use light energy from the sun to convert into glucose, which they use for energy and growth. Oxygen is released as a byproduct. Chemosynthesis is another process used by some bacteria. Instead of sunlight, they use chemical energy to produce food, usually in places without sunlight like deep-sea vents. Essentially, autotrophs like plants are self-sustaining factories, converting energy and materials from the environment into food they can use for growth and survival. The other ones are heterotrophic nutrition, where organisms do not make their own food but depend on other organisms for it. These are the consumers of the world. In this type of nutrition, organisms take in complex organic substances from their surroundings. This includes animals, fungi, and certain bacteria. Types of heterotrophic nutrition are holozoic nutrition. This is where organisms, like humans and amoeba, ingest solid food, which is then digested inside their body to release energy. Think of it as internal digestion. The food we eat gets broken down in our stomach and intestines. Saprophytic nutrition. Then there are organisms like fungi, mushrooms, and bread molds that feed on dead or decaying organic matter. This is called external digestion because the food is broken down outside the body before absorption. Finally, we have the parasites, like the cuscuta plant, ticks, lice, and leeches. These organisms live in or on a host and take nutrition without killing the host. It's a one-sided relationship where the parasite benefits and the host is harmed. Alright, now that we've explored how plants are the self-sustaining food factories, let's break down photosynthesis. It is a process where plants use sunlight, carbon dioxide from the air, and water from the soil to create their own food in the form of glucose. Here's how it works. Chlorophyll in the plant cells absorbs sunlight, which acts as energy. The plant then takes carbon dioxide and water and transforms them into glucose, which is used as food for the plant, and oxygen is released as a byproduct. So, while plants are busy making their own energy through photosynthesis, let's look at some single-celled organisms like amoeba and paramecium that don't have leaves or chlorophyll to harness sunlight. They've got their own clever ways of getting food. Amoeba. This little guy is a shapeshifter. It uses its pseudopodia, finger-like projections, to engulf food, forming a food vacuole like a little stomach inside. The food is digested by enzymes and nutrients are absorbed. Paramecium. Paramecium has a fixed shape and uses its cilia, hair-like structures, to sweep food into its oral groove, mouth. It engulfs food into a food vacuole and digests it there. Now, let's take it one step further. How does the food we eat actually turn into the energy that powers our bodies? Let's start with the alimentary canal, which is like your body's food assembly line. Every time you eat, your body goes through a highly organized process to break down food into usable energy. Step 1 starts in the mouth. Here, the food is mechanically crushed by your teeth, and salivary amylase, an enzyme in your saliva, begins breaking down starch into simple sugars. So, the first step of digestion begins with just a bite. Next, food travels down the esophagus, and here's where it gets cool. Peristalsis takes over. These are rhythmic muscle contractions that push food down to the stomach. Think of it like a conveyor belt delivering your food to the next stop on its journey. Now, onto the stomach, the place where food gets a serious makeover. The stomach acts like a powerful acid bath. The gastric glands in the stomach secrete hydrochloric acid, which helps activate an enzyme called pepsin. This enzyme starts breaking down proteins into simpler molecules. But wait, there's a protective lining of mucus that keeps the stomach from digesting itself. Pretty smart, right? After all the breakdown in the stomach, food moves into the small intestine, which is where the magic of complete digestion happens. Here, the liver and pancreas come into action. The liver secretes bile, which helps break down fats into smaller particles, making them easier to digest. The pancreas adds its own digestive enzymes like trypsin to digest proteins and lipase to break down fats. The small intestine is the real powerhouse of digestion, where all the macronutrients, fats, carbs, and proteins are broken down into their simplest forms: fatty acids, glycerol, glucose, and amino acids respectively. So, how does the body actually get all the nutrients? That's where the villi come in. These tiny finger-like projections in the small intestine increase the surface area, allowing for maximum absorption of nutrients into the bloodstream. Each villus is richly supplied with blood vessels, so once the nutrients are absorbed, they're carried to the cells where they are used for energy, growth, and repair. Once all the nutrients are absorbed, the waste products continue their journey to the large intestine, where water is absorbed and the remaining waste is excreted. Your body is literally a well-oiled machine, working to ensure every part gets what it needs. Now that we've explored how our body gets nourishment from the food we eat and how it is broken down during digestion, let's move on to the next life process that keeps us going: respiration. Now, I know what you're thinking. Breathing and respiration sound the same, but they're not. While breathing is just taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide, respiration is all about turning food into usable energy. It's like a mini power plant inside your body. Respiration is a chemical process where your body converts glucose, which you get from food, into energy. This energy is used to keep everything in your body running, from thinking, moving, to even sleeping. When there is enough oxygen, your cells go through aerobic respiration. This is the most efficient way to release energy, and it happens in the mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cells. The glucose you get from food is broken down into ATP, which gives energy to cells, and the byproducts are carbon dioxide, which you breathe out, and water. But, hey, what happens when oxygen isn't available? Does your body just stop? No way. Your body has a backup plan: anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration happens when oxygen isn't enough, like during intense exercise when you're running or working out hard. In this case, your cells break down glucose without oxygen, but it produces less energy and also creates lactic acid, which is why your muscles feel that burn after workout. Next, let's take a look at how oxygen gets into your body and how carbon dioxide is removed. Your lungs are built to maximize gas exchange. This is where oxygen enters and carbon dioxide leaves. The lungs have tiny, balloon-like structures called alveoli where the actual gas exchange happens. The alveoli are surrounded by tiny blood vessels called capillaries. And this is where oxygen enters your blood and carbon dioxide is removed. The alveoli are so small but have a huge surface area, which is key to making gas exchange as efficient as possible. Imagine them like tiny sponges soaking up oxygen and squeezing out carbon dioxide. When you inhale, your diaphragm flattens and your chest expands, pulling air into your lungs. When you exhale, your diaphragm relaxes and your chest shrinks, pushing air out. It's like a pump that keeps your lungs working smoothly. Now, let's move to the next important life process that helps our body distribute this energy and other essential nutrients. It's called transportation, and it's like the delivery system of your body. Just like in a city, where goods need to be transported from one place to another, your body needs to move nutrients, oxygen, and waste products to and from different parts. This happens through the circulatory system. The circulatory system includes your heart, blood, and blood vessels. Now, let's understand the heart. It's like a double pump system that's built to be super efficient. How the heart works. The heart has 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. The right side pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs, while the left side pumps oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. It has 4 chambers that prevent the mixing of oxygen-rich blood and oxygen-poor blood, which is essential for warm-blooded animals like us who need high energy to survive. Now, let's talk about blood, which is like the delivery system of your body. It carries oxygen, nutrients, and waste products all around your body. Your blood is made up of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Plasma carries nutrients, carbon dioxide, and waste. RBCs are like transport trucks, carrying oxygen using hemoglobin. WBCs are the security team, protecting you from infections. Platelets are like the maintenance crew, helping with clotting when you get injured. Your body has 3 types of blood vessels. Arteries carry blood away from the heart under high pressure. Veins bring blood back to the heart, with valves to prevent backflow. Capillaries, tiny one-cell thick vessels where gas exchange happens. Finally, let's look at how plants move water and food around. Plants also have their own transport system, but they do it a little differently. In plants, xylem vessels carry water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. This happens through passive transport, mainly driven by transpiration. On the other hand, phloem vessels transport sugars from the leaves to other parts of the plant, like the roots and fruits. This process is active, requiring energy, ATP, to move the food. You know that our body doesn't keep everything we take in. It gets rid of the byproducts that aren't useful. This process is called excretion. Excretion is like the waste management system of your body. Just like how trash is taken away from your house, your body has a system that helps remove nitrogenous waste like urea and uric acid and other metabolic byproducts. The kidneys are the main players in excretion, filtering blood to remove waste. Let's talk about how your kidneys filter your blood step by step. Step 1. Filtration. First, blood enters a tiny network of capillaries called the glomerulus inside the Bowman's capsule in the kidneys. Here, filtration happens under pressure, where waste like urea is separated from the blood. Step 2. Reabsorption. As the filtered liquid moves through the proximal convoluted tubule, useful substances like glucose, amino acids, and water are reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. It's like your body's own recycling system, making sure it keeps the good stuff. Step 3. Secretion, urine formation. Now, the remaining waste, including urea and uric acid, moves through the distal convoluted tubule and into the collecting duct, where the final waste products are excreted from the body as urine. Your kidneys then send this waste to the ureters, and from there, it reaches the bladder, where it's stored until it's time to be released. Sometimes, our kidneys can stop working properly due to certain diseases. This is when doctors use an artificial kidney, also known as hemodialysis, to help. The dialysis machine works by passing the patient's blood through a machine that acts like a filter. It helps remove nitrogenous waste and excess fluids, just like healthy kidneys would. The blood is cleaned, and then it goes back into the body. Although this is a great solution when kidneys fail, it's not perfect. Unlike the kidneys, the machine doesn't reabsorb the useful substances like glucose, so the patient has to get treated regularly. Did you know plants also have their own way of getting rid of waste? Yep. They don't have kidneys, but they do excrete waste in other ways. Just like us, plants give off oxygen during photosynthesis, but they also release carbon dioxide and oxygen through tiny openings in their leaves called stomata. Plants also excrete water through transpiration. This is the process where plants lose water through tiny pores on their leaves. Plants also shed leaves as solid waste. They store their waste products, like gums and resins, in their old xylem. When they shed their leaves, they get rid of this stored waste. The processes of nutrition, respiration, excretion, and transportation work together to keep you running at full speed.